Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal. Hope all is well, you're enjoying the start to the summer. Thank you very much for all the support, as always, for watching the videos. Like I said yesterday, I am back now after a bit of time away. We're half term. And I wanted to do today's video. There's not much news going around. I'd love to sit here right now and say to you straight away, Arsenal are signing this guy, Arsenal are signing that way. But at the moment, as you probably are all very aware, it's pretty slow going at the moment. I mean, the window's not even open. We're still in the middle of all the internationals, so not much is happening Arsenal-wise. Some other clubs are beginning to make some moves, not quite happening at Arsenal yet. So I can't sit here right now in today's video and give you the very latest when it comes to who Arsenal might be signing, but I will talk about a couple of things later on. But I wanted to start today's video. I really wanted to sit here and kind of discuss and have a look at what Mikel Arteta, what his ideal summer is going to be when it comes to reshaping his squad or continuing to reshape his squad. Obviously, that has started a couple of years ago, and a huge movement has taken place since then in terms of players going out, players coming in. Alexander Lacazette is obviously the latest player to head off after not being given a new contract. He, by the looks of it, reports coming out of France today, is having his medical today with Lyon. I think Lyon have called a press conference as well where he'll be officially confirmed. So watch out for that one. Interesting to see what Lacazette has to say during that press conference. Good luck to him in that move. But there's clearly going to be a lot of other stuff happening. There will be more players going out this summer, and fingers crossed, some players coming in, quite a few players coming in. I mean, Arteta has been pretty open in the past about what he wants for this season. I remember him speaking towards the end of last season. I can't remember exactly what it was. I've got the quote here, though, when he was talking about his ideal squad. He was saying both competitions, the Champions League and the Europa League, require a much larger squad because the number of games you play is much bigger. So I don't think it makes a lot of difference what competition Arsenal qualify for. Obviously, we now know it was the Europa League. So if you could afford it and we don't have to do the turnaround in the squad that we've had to do recently, if you ask me what I want, it's 22 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers. So that's a squad of 25. Now, you sort of look at the numbers with Arsenal and kind of how they ended last season. I think it was 17 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers. But within that, you kind of look at the number now. Obviously, Lacazette has gone. I've taken him out of that, actually. And of the first team squad that they ended last season with, if you take out Lacazette, you kind of think Leno and Pepe, potentially 2 players who could move on this summer. I mean, Leno's, you expect that will happen, given Arsenal already signed their number 2 for next season, and Leno's just not going to want to stick around being number 3. I mean, it doesn't make much sense, does it? And Matt Turner, we know, is coming in. So it's going to be interesting whether Arteta can get up to this magic 25 number. If he does, it's going to be quite a lot of business. I mean, you're looking at the players who could potentially go out. Like I said, Lacaz's gone. Pepe potentially will go if Arsenal can find a taker, which won't be easy. Leno, again, potentially will go if Arsenal can get a decent offer in for him. Obviously, only a year left on his contract with Leno. And then you've got Maitland-Niles, Pablo Mari, Lucas Torreira, Matteo Guendouzi, Hector Bellerin, Reiss Nelson, all those players who were out on loan last season. It's very doubtful when you look at any of those that they're going to come back. I mean, I saw a story today actually saying Reiss Nelson, final draft to Reiss Nelson again. If that's going to happen, it'll be interesting to see what Arsenal do, because he's only got a year left on his contract. And if Arsenal do want to let him go back to Feyenoord, where he had a very good end to the season, Reiss Nelson, it wouldn't make much sense doing it on a loan, because they're not going to get any money for him, because it'll be a free transfer at the end of next season. So potentially they'll do what they did before and get him to sign a new contract before letting him go. We know that Saliba is going to come back into that now. That's been pretty much confirmed by what Saliba's had to say and certainly what Arteta's had to say. And so that kind of takes you back to 18 outfield players in the squad, and so that still leaves you with 4 to come in if Arteta's going to get up to his magic number of 22 outfield players. And a striker, potentially 2 strikers, midfielder, maybe fullback cover, that could well do it. It remains to be seen whether Arsenal do go for the 2 forwards, or they do just end up signing 1 and going with Eddie Nketiah as the other central striking option, and then maybe having Martinelli, that sort of player, as the backup, and then maybe going for 2 midfielders. We certainly know Youri Tielemans, who I'll speak about later on in this video, is a very priority target for Arsenal. Zinchenko, another player that they are interested in, he could potentially come in and fill two positions, could be the cover competition for Tierney at left back, but also play in midfield where we've seen him play so successfully for Ukraine in the recent international break. So it's just going to be really interesting to see exactly how much work Arsenal do, how much turnover they do in the transfer market, and whether when we get to the end of the transfer window, Mikel Arteta is up to that sort of 25-man squad. There's no doubt Arsenal are going to have a bigger squad than they had last season. Even though they didn't qualify for the Champions League, the Europa League is going to put a lot of extra demands on the squad. I do expect in the first half of the competition during the group stages, Arteta will make a fair few changes for those games. You talk about Matt Turner, for example, the goalkeeper who's coming in for New England Revolution. You imagine he'll get all the starts in those Europa League games, potentially in the League Cup as well. That's where he gets his minutes. Charlie Patino, last time I spoke to someone who's very close to the Patino situation, they weren't expecting him to go out on loan this season. I thought that might happen given maybe the lack of opportunities he would get. But now that it's Europa League and not Champions League, you've got the opportunity there to give Patino minutes, because that's what he needs now. There's no point playing him in under 23s football, certainly not regularly. He needs to start getting some senior football. That's why I thought maybe he might go out on loan, but it seems like he is going to be more integrated into the first team squad next season and will get minutes in the Europa League and the Cup competitions as well. So that's maybe another number to get you closer to the 22 outfield players. It's just going to be, like I said, it's going to be an interesting one. And I'd love to sit here right now and tell you exactly who Arsenal are going to sign, but it's an impossible job at the moment because I just don't have that information. It's as simple as that. And Arsenal will be working behind the scenes to get as much as they can done earlier rather than later. They start their first pre-season game exactly 1 month today. They're never going to have everything done before that. It never happens. As much as you can go into a transfer window saying want to get it done early, it never happens. You always end up having the mad rush towards the end of the window, but it would be good to get at least a couple in before they set off on their pre-season plans, which starts with the game in Germany a month today, and then they head off to America, and you'll want to get at least a couple of players on board. And I do expect once the international sort of break that we've got now, it's not really a break, is it, because of football season, but once this international period is over, then you'll start seeing a lot more happening when it comes to the transfers. But let me know what you guys think. Who should Arsenal get? What numbers, how many squad players do you think they need to add from what ended last season? Do you think they need 4? Do you think they need 5? I'm talking about outfield players here. Or do you think they maybe quality over quantity? Maybe just get a couple in and spend rather than spreading the money out, spend it big on a couple of new additions. Let me know what you guys think. In terms of Tielemans, who's one of the players who Arsenal will certainly be trying to sign and are trying to sign, he's been speaking about his future. He's one of the players who I've said earlier on is away on international duty, and so that's why nothing's really happening with him at the moment, because he wants to play for Belgium first, get that out of the way. But he was speaking during a press conference yesterday and was asked about the possibility of leaving Leicester. He said that is not out of the question, but I can also say that I still feel very good at Leicester. I was welcome with open arms from day one. I give everything for the club until the last day. But of course, you have to listen to other opportunities. You have to look at your career, and sometimes you have to make choices. Maybe one will come my way. You need to stay calm. I'm good where I am. I still have a year left on him in my contract. I'm in no rush. When you change clubs, you don't change just to change. You change because there is a great project on the table. For a player, the most important thing is to play. It'll be up to me to make the right decision regarding my future this summer, but now I'm relaxed and I'm focusing on the Red Devils, which of course is Belgium. And that's what the likes of Gabriel Jesus and other players who Arsenal are interested in are doing at the moment. They're focusing on their international teams, and then they'll get their futures sorted. Tielemans, it's no secret Arsenal have been chatting with the representatives of Tielemans for a long time. They feel like they're in a good position when it comes to him. It's just going to be a case of trying to get this deal done, get it over the line once he's done on international duty. It's not going to be outrageously expensive given his contract situation. That's clearly going to be appealing to Arsenal. I know a few of you got reservations about Tielemans. I see it in my mentions or in the comments when you're sort of replying to me and asking me questions about him. And I can get what you mean. I do get what you mean when I see some of it in terms of his physical capabilities, maybe tracking back defensively. Does he have the engine to get up and down I think they're very valid concerns when it comes to him, but there's no doubt he's an extremely talented footballer, and I think he fits that number 8 role an awful lot better than Granit Xhaka does in the 4-3-3 that Mikel Arteta has been using, certainly during the second half of the season. I think you put Tielemans in there alongside Odegaard with Thomas Partey behind in that 3. I think that's quite a impressive little midfield 3, and if you add Zinchenko into the mix there as well, if Arsenal could get something done for him this summer, suddenly you're looking at some really good options. And Xhaka obviously is still at the club. I did think that there was quite a decent chance that Xhaka could end up leaving this summer and end up heading back to Rome. It looks like maybe that's not going to happen given they're signing Nemanja Matic now. You kind of look at that and think, is there room for Xhaka? Perhaps not. So we'll wait and see what happens with Granit. But say he stays and Arsenal do get Tielemans and they've got Partey and El Nenny's still there. Odegaard, if Zinchenko did arrive, suddenly you're looking at an awful lot of decent, good midfield options there to fill 3 roles. And I'm quite excited by the possibility of Tielemans arriving. I mean, it's not done. We know that it could easily not happen. But I'm quite excited by him. I think he's a very, very talented footballer. I think he's still got room to improve as well. And the sort of lack of mobility that people have pointed out, I don't think that is a huge red flag in this case. I'm probably proven wrong. He'll end up signing and straight away I think, oh God, he can't run. But I don't know. I haven't seen that yet. I think he's a very, very talented footballer, especially when you sort of deploy him further up the pitch and maybe he doesn't have to worry as much about all the tracking back. And with Thomas Partey as that holding midfielder, maybe he won't have to do that. So we'll see what happens with Tielemans. But that's what he's been having to say about his future. Another player who's been speaking about his future is Folarin Balogun, who scored 2 goals yesterday for the under-21s for England. First one set up by Emil Smith-Rowe, goal made in Hale End. Scored 6 goals in 8 games now for the under-21s for England, which is a very, very good record. And he'll be keeping a close eye, I'm sure, on Eddie Nketiah's mark. I can't remember, I think it's 14 maybe, is it? 15 for the all-time record under-21s. It's 16, actually, I think it is, that Nketiah's on, and Balogun will be kind of eyeing that up, I would say, at the moment, given the run of form he's on with them. After that win, he was speaking about his future. He said, when I get back to Arsenal, I would like to sit down with the manager and see what he thinks, and we'll decide what is best. I know that everyone would like to know what I will do next, but I would like to speak to Mikel Arteta first, and then we can come to a conclusion. I've said this before, I feel like another loan, a full-on season loan now for Balogun is the best thing for him. Yes, Arsenal are in the Europa League, so maybe there's an opportunity for him to get some minutes in the first half of the season. But I also think that if Arsenal do go out and sign a central striker, then you're probably looking at Europa League to give Eddie Nketiah as many starts as he would want to sign the new contract. Should he go on and sign this new contract, which we are expecting it to happen, he'll be given plenty of insurances about how many starts he's going to get next season. You'd think the Europa League will absolutely be reserved for him, as well as some Premier League starts. And I just feel Balogun, he didn't set the world alight at Middlesbrough. He had a good loan spell. You speak to people up at Middlesbrough, and they were impressed with Balogun and what they saw. But he didn't score too many goals. And that doesn't overly surprise me, because I think it was his first time really playing proper senior football on a regular basis. It would have been a real massive change for him. But I think he settled fairly well, and he got into it, and he did make a bit of an impact. But I think this season, having had that 6 months to really acclimatise to senior football, I feel like he needs now a full-on season of playing, week in, week out in the Championship against proper, men, bruising defenders who are going to give him a kick and really make him know what senior football is all about. And so I would say that for me, the best thing for Balogun next season would be a season-long loan elsewhere for him to really cut his teeth in senior football, and then come back to Arsenal at the end of next season and then work out exactly what the future holds for him at this club. We'll wait and see. Maybe Middlesbrough will look to take him back. I know, as I said, they were impressed with him up there, although he didn't score the amount of goals they were potentially hoping for with him. And I think there'll be plenty of other Championship clubs who will be interested in Balogun, as well as a number of other Arsenal youngsters as well for next season. I mean, we know he can score. He's shown that at under-23s level. He's shown that in the first team at Arsenal on a couple of occasions. He's showing it for England under-21s right now. But he's just above youth level now. He's got to play senior football, and I'm just not sure when you look at next season, unless there's a whole lot of injuries and that sort of thing, where he really fits in, how many minutes he's going to get at Arsenal. And that's why I think another loan for Balogun feels like the best option for me. But let me know, as always, if you agree with me, disagree with me. Do you think he could be the answer to Arsenal's striking problems next season? Let me know with that and anything else you've listened to, agreed with, disagreed with on this video. Hit me up in the comments below. That's it for today. I will start doing a few of the live Q&As as we sort of progress during the summer. I wanted to do one this week, but unfortunately, as I said yesterday, my daughter's ill at the moment. She's downstairs, and I don't trust her not to rush up here and interrupt the live broadcast. So once she's back to school and I've got an empty house, then I'll absolutely start doing it. So keep your eyes peeled for those, and we'll sit down, we'll discuss, debate what's going on this summer, what you want to see happen. So keep your eyes out for that one. But until then, have a very good day, everyone. Enjoy the sunshine. I'll speak to you very soon.